Hello and welcome, I'm Norva Ragnor. Thank you for joining me for another custom making video. In this video I'll be showing you the steps I took in creating my own version of the Flame Boomer from Gears of War 2. In the original trilogy of Gears games there are a total of 6 boom type locusts. The Boomer, the Mauler, Mulcher, Butcher, Digger, and the Flame Boomer. Neca only created 2 of these for their figure line. The Boomer and the Mauler. I took inspiration from a good friend and fellow Gears customizer LJ from Gears of War Figures and Customs, who made his own version of the Flame Boomer, whose page I will link in the description, so please check out his amazing work. The Flame Boomer is an alternative type of boomer who rushes towards you, flushing you out into the open with its Scorcher, a powerful weapon that deals incredible amounts of damage to the player. Flame Boomers aren't the only fire type enemies, as you also have to fight against standard Flamer Grenadiers, who use the same tactics of rushing the player. The difference between the 2 variations is the amount of damage needed to kill them, unless you focus purely on the emulsion tanks on their backs, which ignites and explodes. The first figure and bulk of the custom, pun intended, is the Boomer figure, a greatly detailed figure but limited articulation. The limited articulation on the Boomer is mostly in the lower part of the body. One of the more menacing enemy types in the games, they are an absolute bullet sponge while also dealing high amounts of damage to the player, and depending on the variant you have, stomping towards you depends on the strategy needed to progress further and to take them out. On the battlefield, they are definitely the enemy you want to focus on first, as they will flush the player out of cover, leaving you exposed to all attacks around you and even open to their own. The second figure for this custom is the Flame Grenadier. All what is needed from this figure is the helmet and the emulsion tanks on the back. This is another greatly detailed figure from Neca. They did such a great job with the Gears of War line. And just like the Boomer, the limited articulation comes from the lower half of the body. In the game, these enemy types will rush the player. They can take a fair bit of damage, and while you're focusing on them, they will charge you and burn you, killing you quicker than you can kill them. This is why shooting the tanks is a better tactic to use to dispense of them quickly and focus on the other enemies on the battlefield. Neca usually reuse parts for their figures to keep the manufacturing costs down, which also helps keep retail prices down. So it doesn't make sense that Neca never made an official Flame Boomer, as they had all the parts needed to create one. Lucky for us, it's not a difficult custom to create. The Scorcher weapon is the final part needed for the custom, a powerful weapon within the games in both single and multiplayer. The gun was introduced in Gears of War 2 and since then has been a mainstay weapon within the multiplayer. I use the same technique I use with all my customs, by using hot water to loosen the plastic. This reduces the risk of damaging the figure. The hot water makes it a lot easier to remove the head. The same technique is used for the boomer, as I need to swap the heads. I remove the head and pull it aside. I put the parts on some tissue paper to dry out. The joints for the heads are different, so I remove the peg from the grenadier head. I use my hobby knife to remove the straps from the grenadier's torso. Using the sharp tool with precision helps detach the straps without damaging the figure or tank. Once the shoulder strap has been detached, I cut the circular buckle. This won't be needed for the boomer custom, so cutting it won't be an issue. Once it's been cut, I can start removing the tank from the figure completely. These emulsion tanks are what hold the fuel for the Scorcher, emulsion being the main source of fuel within the Gears universe. Once the tank is removed, I tidy up the cut straps and remove the buckle. With the tank removed and tidied up, it's time to attach it to the back of the boomer. I try to find the best position for the tank to sit on the back, and that looks best. Once the optimum position has been found for the tank, it's time to glue it into place. The custom is almost finished, and with the tank glued into place, it really brings it all together. It's looking great so far. With the head attached, that's the custom complete. Thank you for joining me and watching how I made my Flame Boomer custom. Stay tuned for more custom videos coming soon, and as always, stay safe.